It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
You know, I always wanted to do a show like this. I finally get a chance to do a show like this where somebody comes on and do live show. And welcome to Are You Up? I'm here, Marlon Clyburn, along with Tracy Carson of Tracy Media. And I'm about to say I always wanted to do a show like this, but Tracy, we did do a show like this when he did
sure
the
did.
So we're gonna do another one.
Except for this is your platform, so anything goes. I had a couple thousand rules.
Yeah, well. So Biden is coming on. As a matter of fact, well, somebody's coming on checking the mic, I guess.
Yeah, they've been doing mic checks for like
This is
the
one of
last
the places
10
where
minutes.
he was criticized by activists in his own
All
party
right.
for how he has handled this issue.
So-
but you're exactly right. This is an issue that they're eager to draw a contrast on with Republicans, particularly as
He's
it
not
relates
gonna
to
make it
January
quick
6th.
either.
And in the ensuing months, as we continue to see the investigation into former President Trump play out in Florida.
Well, top House Republican Kevin McCarthy gave a pre-bubble speech this evening, painting a gloom and doom image of the American economy, public safety, and Democrats' leadership. So let's listen.
When the president speaks tonight at Independence Hall, the first lines out of his mouth should be to apologize for slandering tens of millions of Americans
terrorists,
fascists,
terrorists.
President Biden wants to talk about the soul of the nation.
Can we play the calls where he's
All right, James,
told
let's go to
Trump
you
to,
on
hey,
this.
you need to
You
call
remember
this
back
thing
in
off?
2016,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
just
mad
gonna
at the
forget
fact
it.
that
half of
he's
Donald
talking
Trump's
about
supporters were a basket of
domestic
deplorables.
terrorism in the
I'm like,
United
your whole
States. And you want
party's
to start
terror.
with that's the soul
Donald
of
Trump used
America?
it.
Are you
That's
sure
what
that's
Kevin
what
McCarthy
words you
is
was trying to
trying
use
do with that
too?
river
Yeah, he
this
knows
fall,
just what he's doing.
saying that
Don't think you meant to use
when
that.
Joe Biden is talking about
Pretty sure that's
MAGA
not what you meant to
forces,
use.
he's really talking about all Republicans. Donald Trump's been saying the last 2 weeks that the FBI didn't search his home. They're not coming after him. They're coming after you, to his supporters. This is
No, they're
part of a
not. I
Republican
didn't take
strategy
government
to
documents.
try
I ain't take government documents.
McCarthy
I
I'm
filed
good.
my
also
taxes.
said that
I don't
Biden
know
is
what
talking
he's
about
talking about.
democracy because he
I'm
doesn't
good,
want to talk
bro.
about inflation and immigration. This is a strategy that I think we're going to see a lot more of in the home stretch, largely, Libby, to turn out Republican-based voters without Donald Trump's name on the ballot. In a lot of states, Trump's pick didn't win the primary, but saying that President Biden is attacking Trump supporters could get them to the polls in November.
So, Tyler,
What did he
the
just
White House
say?
is not backing off of this, right? So, talk to us
Basically,
about
he's saying that this
I
is
know, I heard him, but I'm like,
President
dude,
Biden
could
is
you
on
say
this
that all in
question
English?
of
Like,
the MAGA
bruh,
movement
what?
and what it stands for.
Yeah,
Oh, go
I
ahead,
think that's a
Marlon.
great
I
point,
didn't
and
mean to
that's
cut you
exactly
off.
what
I'm
I'm
just
watching
like,
for.
I ain't saying that.
I spoke with some advisors of the president who said it has become clear that how explicit Biden is in calling out these forces or these individuals.
call them what
the
they
more
are,
he's able to
terrorists.
break through, the more
Boom.
he's able
And
to
then
reach
keep it
a
moving.
wider audience. And so I think what I'm looking for tonight is how explicit he is. You know, we've heard him really criticize former President Trump, but we haven't
Stop
heard
calling
him
him
name
president.
names. We heard Karine Jean-Pierre name specific members of Congress who they saw as dangerous in the rhetoric that they were using about defunding the FBI or attacking other members of Congress. But some of these exact politicians that Biden and his aides and other Democrats are warning about are on the ballot in key states. As you discussed, Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania, who was at the Capitol on January 6th. There are candidates in Arizona who have repeated some of the same lies about the election that Donald Trump has. And so whether or not Joe Biden, he's not expected to call them out by name, but it'll be interesting to see
Oh,
how
that
See,
was
what's
shocking.
the point of that?
how
What?
granular.
Call
Yeah.
them out my name is like, this person said this on this
They're
date,
saying
and
this
they
is not a
lying.
political speech. He's going to rise above that.
So he's
But
giving
again,
a
we've
speech for
discussed a
no
lot of these
reason.
people are on the ballot in November, and as much as his rally in Rockville was the political kickoff for the
I
midterm,
cannot
this
stand
is
when
a public
politicians
issue
do that.
for-
If
for
you're going to
why
call them out,
Democrats
call
need
them
to
out.
prevail in order to, in his words, save
Ah,
democracy. And so we'll
he gonna
see,
say something.
through tonight
I don't
and
know
then
what.
forward how
But not calling them out by
in
name,
terms
what's
of
the
naming
point?
those threats.
Them guys sit there and
What
think,
will
who
you
he's
be
talking
listening
about?
to
Well, we know who
through
he's talking
the lens
about,
of someone
but
who covers Congress and is thinking about the midterm elections and how lawmakers and people running for office are going to be listening tonight and thinking about how to incorporate or distance themselves from the Biden message?
I'm going to be listening for how Biden strikes that tone of being nonpartisan, because that's
she look
pretty
like that
important right now. I think
basketball
that would
player.
work
I can't
toward
think
any
of what her
strategy
name
the
is.
Democrats want to get more voters on their side. You see where this is at. You see it's at
Lisa
a very
Leslie.
symbolic place for a lot of Americans. And
I
it's
really
for
hope he
American
doesn't
history.
do no
And it's
bipartisan
purposeful, as
thing
we
on
talked
here.
about.
The
You know he's
bipartisan,
gonna
So to
do
be there
it.
making this
Well,
a
come on.
the
prime time
bipartisan
speech,
has
I'm
gotten us
going to listen to,
absolutely
and I would
nothing.
expect, just as Tyler
I
said,
want to work
that this
across
would
the
not
aisle with a bunch
include
of
too
people
many
that voted
partisan,
against the John Lewis Voters' Right Act.
barbs
Oh,
and any
okay.
sort of
Let's just see how that
pointed fingers.
works.
But what he may
Caps on
do, just like he did
insulin,
earlier
just
this week,
everything.
Yeah,
is
could he vote
draw
to make
lines
insulin
and say,
$35?
this
Oh,
is
well,
what's
that no.
happening with
What?
this extremist group, and what side are you on? And that might get around some of the pointed partisanship. But given that this is a speech scheduled so that many Americans can sit down and watch it, I would expect him not to give too partisan of a tone.
We'll be going live to Philadelphia as
Yep,
soon
they
as
already see
President
he gonna
Biden
give a
walks out there and
bipartisan
gets to that
tone. Like,
podium.
what you making this speech
James,
for,
there is a
bruh?
way to talk
Ooh.
politics without necessarily going on the attack, because there are so many issues that Americans are really concerned about right now, ranging from abortion to the economy.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if he touches on those at all. I think he's going to talk about how these MAGA forces want to take us backward. How much does he get into reproductive rights, for example? What I'm going to be watching for, Libby, is how much does he stick to script. This is a primetime speech. You can see the teleprompters there flanking the podium. When he was in Wilkes-Barre earlier this week giving that crime speech, I had the prepared text in front of me as I was watching him deliver it. He veered wildly off of that script, riffed quite a bit. Typically, you wouldn't want to do that in a carefully crafted, choreographed message like this. And that's often where Biden makes news. The semi-fascism bit wasn't in a vetted script. It was something that Biden said off the cuff.
And what's semi-fascist? Either you're fascist or you're not fascist. It's one or the other.
Relationship with the city of Philadelphia. And
That's like saying I'm semi-black. No.
He likes to call himself.
I want them to stop doing this switching back and forth with these freaking pictures. Now, both of y'all talking.
Half-hour drive from Independence Hall.
Well, they're trying to figure out when he's coming because he was supposed to do this speech at, I believe, 7:45.
There's not one political anybody who actually did a speech on time.
He obviously, as we mentioned,
yeah, but don't put 7:45. We're not on CPT time. If you tell me 7:45, you better start at 7:45. Okay, I think I see the curtain open.
To win this state again in 2024.
All right, James Hillman, Tyler Pager, Rhonda Colvin, and all of our colleagues, thank you so much. We go now to the grounds of Independence National Historic Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. President Biden will be delivering this speech that the White House says is about the battle for the soul of the nation. This is live coverage from the Washington Post. Please join us after President Biden wraps up his remarks for analysis.
No, he won't. He's gonna be long-winded and make me miss Big Brother.
Please welcome the President of the United States and Dr. Jill Biden.
Oh, not the wife?
Yeah, she was there. This is behind because I can see him walking on stage.
Oh, brother, let's go.
You see how I felt when I did mine? I'm like, if y'all don't hurry this up, at least you don't have nobody's hand to shake and going out to the crowd. Like, she can't walk over there by herself, really. She can walk. Oh, he's only got a little book.
My fellow Americans, please, if you have a seat, take it. I speak to you tonight from sacred ground in America.
Sacred?
Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is where America made its Declaration of Independence to the world more than 2 centuries ago with an idea unique among nations, that in America, we're all created equal. This is where the United States Constitution was written and debated. This is where we set in motion the most extraordinary experiment of self-government the world has ever known. With 3 simple words: we the people. We the people. These 2 documents and the ideas they embody.
Them the people.
Yeah, because it's showing for our people.
Are the rock upon which this nation is built. They're how we became the greatest nation on earth. They're why, for more than 2 centuries, America has been a beacon to the world.
Really?
But as I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise. So tonight, I've come to this place where it all began, to speak as plainly as I can to the nation about the threats we face, about the power we have in our own hands to meet these threats, and about the incredible future that lies in front of us if only we choose it. We must never forget, we the people are the true heirs of the American experiment. that began more than 2 centuries ago. We, the people, have burning inside of each of us the flame of liberty that was lit here at Independence Hall. A flame that lit our way through abolition, the Civil War, suffrage, the Great Depression, world wars, civil rights. That sacred flame still burns. Now in our time, as we build an America that is more prosperous, free and just. That is the work of my presidency, a mission I believe in with my whole soul. But first, we must be honest with each other and with ourselves. Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans.
Technically, it's been really normal for a long time.
I know, it's like it was normal when.
Now, I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans.
Yes, they are.
Not every
90%.
Republican embraces their extreme ideology.
Yes, they do.
I know, because I've
I
been
am
able to work
one.
with these mainstream Republicans.
You are one.
But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. These are hard things.
I still give them the 30%. They just loud.
Not a president of red America or blue America, but of all America. And I believe it's my duty to love with you, to tell the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful. And here, in my view, is what is true. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election. And they're working right now, as I speak, in state after state, to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers, to undermine democracy itself.
Remember that? The John
MAGA
Lewis
forces
voters
are
right there.
determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love.
Uh-oh. He did go to abortion.
Authoritarian leaders, and they fan the flames of political
If he
violence
touched on it, he didn't stay on it.
that are a threat
But he
to our
did
personal
do that,
rights,
so props. I'll
to
give
the
him props.
pursuit of justice,
Hey,
to the
Biden.
rule of law, to the very soul of this country. They look at the mobs that stormed the United States Capitol on January 6th, brutally attacking law enforcement, not as insurrectionists who placed a dagger at the throat of our democracy, but they look at them as patriots. And they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections. They tried everything last time to nullify the votes of 81 million people. This time, they're determined to succeed in thwarting the will of the people. That's why respected conservatives like Federal Circuit Court Judge Michael Ludwig has called Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans, quote, a clear and present danger to our democracy. But while the threat to American democracy is real, I want to say as clearly as we can, we are not powerless in the face of these threats. We are not bystanders in this ongoing attack on democracy. There are far more Americans from every background and belief, who reject the extreme MAGA ideology than those that accept it. And folks,
Is
it's
this
in
a
our
campaign
power,
rally?
it's in our hands, yours and mine.
Hey, we got but a couple of more months
Stop
now.
the assault on American democracy.
It's September.
I believe America is at an inflection point. one of those moments that determine the shape of everything that's to come after. And now, America must choose to move forward or to move backwards, to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness. MAGA Republicans made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. But together we can choose a different path. We can choose a better path. Forward to the future. A future of possibility, a future to build and dream and hope. And we're on that path moving ahead. I know this nation. I know you, the American people. I know your courage. I know your hearts. And I know our history. This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it. This is a nation that believes in the rule of law. We do not repudiate it.
What nation is this?
I know, like, he talking about what country?
Honor the will of the people.
Utopia?
We do not deny it.
That sweet by and by, because I don't know where he talking about.
This is a nation that rejects violence as a political tool.
Yep, but endured slavery and said, okay.
Still an America that believes in honesty and decency.
No, we don't.
And respect for others. Patriotism, liberty, justice for all, hope, possibility. We are still at our core a democracy.
No, we're not.
Yes.
We're oligarchy. Ruled by money interests.
History tells us the blind loyalty to a single leader and the willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy. For a long time, we told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not. We have to defend it, protect it, stand up for it, each and every one of us. That's why tonight I'm asking our nation to come together, unite behind the single purpose of defending our democracy regardless of your ideology.
Yep, let's hold hands across America and go from there. How do you do? Oh.
We're all called by duty and conscience to confront extremists who put their own pursuit of power above all else. Democrats, independents, mainstream Republicans. We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy. We, the people, will not let anyone or anything tear us apart. Today,
Didn't he just say our country's more divided?
we cannot allow to prevail. We here, you heard it. More and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country. It's not. It can never be an acceptable tool. So I want to say this plain and simple. There is no place for political violence in America. Period. None.
How about
Ever.
no place for violence? Just like violence. Forget political, just violence.
Unless we need oil.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Back on
I
January
forgot
6th.
about that part.
We've seen election officials, poll workers, many of them volunteers of both parties, subject to intimidation.
Now that I agree with. That's just going a little bit too damn far.
FBI agents just doing their job as directed, facing threats to their own lives from their own fellow citizens. On top of that, there are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before, predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Call out Lindsey Graham. Just say Lindsey Graham said.
It's against the rule of law. And we, the people, must say, this is not who we are.
It's exactly who we
That's
are.
who we are.
I'm like, that's exactly who we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't be pro-insurrectionists and pro-American. They're incompatible. We can't allow violence to be normalized in this country. It's wrong. We each have to reject political violence with with all the moral clarity and conviction this nation can muster. Now,
How do you do that?
we can't let the integrity of our elections be undermined. For that is a path to chaos. Look, I know politics can be fierce and mean and nasty in America. I get it. I believe in the give and take of politics, in disagreement and debate and dissent. We're a big, complicated country. But democracy endures only if we, the people, respect the guardrails of the republic. Only if we, the people, accept the results of free and fair elections. Only if we, the people, see politics not as total war, but mediation of our differences. Democracy cannot survive when one side believes there are only two outcomes to an election. Either they win or they were cheated. And that's where the MAGA Republicans are today. They don't understand what every patriotic American knows. You can't love your country only when you win. It's fundamental. American democracy only works only if we choose to respect the rule of law and the institutions that were set up in this chamber behind me. Only if we respect our legitimate political differences. I will not stand by and watch. I will not, the will of the American people, be overturned by wild conspiracy theories and
So what you gonna do about it?
claims of fraud. I will not stand by and watch elections in this country stolen by people who simply refuse to accept that they lost.
What you gonna do about it, though?
I have to admit, that's a good question, Tracy.
Like, you saying it, okay, but okay. That's what I'm going to introduce. Well, he can't introduce the bill, but he can certainly encourage Congress to.
As your president, I will defend our democracy with every fiber of my being, and I'm asking every American to join me.
By what? Signing a pledge, going to a website, what?
Throughout our history, America has often made the greatest progress coming out of some of our darkest moments, like your hearings at Bullhorn. I believe we can and must do that again. And we are. MAGA Republicans look at America and see carnage and darkness and despair. They spread fear and lies. Lies told for profit and power. But I see a different America. An America with an unlimited future. An America that's about to take off. I hope you see it as well. Just look around. I believe we can lift America from the depths of COVID. So we passed the largest economic recovery package since Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and today America's economy is faster, stronger than any other advanced nation in the world. We have more to go. I believe we can build a better America. So we passed the biggest infrastructure investment since President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and we now embark on a decade of rebuilding the nation's roads, bridges, highways, ports, water systems, high-speed internet, railroads. I believe we can make America safer, so we passed the most significant gun safety law since President Clinton. I believe we could go from being the highest cost of prescriptions in the world to making prescription drugs and healthcare more affordable. So we passed the most significant healthcare reform since President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act.
I wouldn't be touting that if I was you, man.
What was that? What?
The 5 drugs that you get under the new act.
Clean,
It's only 5.
energy future and save the planet. So we passed the most important climate initiative.
Oh, that won't start until 2027.
ever.
Forgot that part.
The cynics and the critics tell us nothing can get done, but they're wrong. There is not a single thing America cannot do. Not a single thing.
Except pass the John Lewis Act.
If we do it
Or
together.
the George Floyd
It's
Act.
never easy. But we're proving that America, no matter how
Make the
long
child
the
tax
road,
credit
Or
permanent.
child tax credit permanent.
I mean, like this.
Or raise minimum wage.
Like, does he really really want me to do this?
Look,
He don't want me to do
I know the
this.
last few years have been tough, but today, COVID no longer controls our lives.
Yes, it does.
More Americans are working than ever.
And now we got
Businesses are
monkeypox.
growing. Our schools are open. Millions of Americans have been lifted out of poverty.
And they're right back in.
Once exposed to toxic burn pits will now get what they deserve for their families and their compensation.
Thanks to Jon Stewart.
American manufacturers come alive across the heartland, and the future will be made in America. No matter what the white supremacists and the extremists say, I made a bet on you, the American people, and that bet is paying off, proving that from darkness, the darkness of Charlottesville, of COVID, of gun violence, of insurrection, we can see the light. Light is now visible. Light that will guide us forward. Not only in words, but in actions. Actions for you, for your children, for your grandchildren, for America. Even in this moment, with all the challenges we face, I give you my word as a Biden, I've never been more optimistic about America's future. Not because of me, but because of who you are.
That's a creepy
We're
thought
going to end
there.
cancer as we know
I
it.
know,
Mark
I'm
my
like,
words.
okay.
We're going to create millions of new jobs in the clean energy economy. We're going to think big. We're going to make the 21st century another American century. Because the world needs us to. That's where we need to focus our energy. Not in the past. Not on
You gotta
business
focus on the past so
wars,
you don't repeat it.
not on
Hello.
politics and grievance, but on the future we can build together. The MAGA Republicans believe that for them to succeed, everyone else has to fail. They believe America, not like I believe about America. I believe America is big enough for all of us to succeed. And that is the nation we're building, a nation where no one is left behind. I ran for president because I believe we're in a battle for the soul of this nation. I still believe that to be true. I believe the soul is the breath, the life, and the essence of who we are. The soul is what makes us us. The soul of America is defined by the sacred proposition that all are created equal in the image of God. That all are entitled to be treated with decency, dignity, and respect. That all deserve justice and a shot at lives of prosperity and consequence. And that democracy must be defended, for democracy makes all these things possible.
And thank you, America, and go off the stage.
And it's up to us. Democracy begins and will be preserved in we, the people's habits of the heart, in our character, optimism that is tested yet endures, courage that digs deep when we need it, empathy that fuels democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies but as fellow Americans. Look, our democracy isn't perfect. It always has been. Notwithstanding those folks you hear on the other side there, they're entitled to be outrageous. This is a democracy. But history and common sense good manners is nothing they've ever suffered from. But history and common sense tell us that opportunity, liberty, and justice for all are most likely to come to pass in a democracy. We have never fully realized the aspirations of our founding, but every generation has opened those doors a little bit wider to include more people who have been excluded before. My fellow Americans, America is an idea, the most powerful idea in the history of the world, and it beats in the hearts of the people of this country. It beats in all our hearts. It unites America. It is the American creed, the idea that America guarantees that everyone be treated with dignity. It gives hate no safe harbor. It installs in everyone the belief that no matter
Damn, what
where
America are you talking about?
I'm still like, where is he? He's talking about
That's who we
utopia?
are.
He has to be, because
That's
he
what we
can't be
stand
talking
for.
about the United States
That's
of
what we
America.
believe.
Maybe
That's
South
precisely
America.
what we're doing. Opening doors, creating possibilities.
Now, unless if you
Focusing on the
Haitian,
future.
they close them doors and
And
send
we're
you right
only
back.
just beginning. Our task is to make our nation free and fair, just and strong, noble and whole. And this work is the work of democracy, the work of this generation. It is the work of our time, for all time. We can't afford to leave anyone on the sidelines. We need everyone to do their part. So speak up, speak out, get engaged, vote, vote, vote.
Vote for who? Who am I voting
If we do
for?
our duty,
Like, tell me.
if we do our duty in 2022 and beyond, then ages still to come will say, we, all of us here, we kept the faith. We preserved democracy. We heeded our words. We heeded not our worst instincts, but our better angels. We proved that for all its imperfections, America is still the beacon to the world, an ideal to be realized, a promise to be kept. There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred, nothing more American. That's our soul. That's who we truly are. And that's who we must always be. I have no doubt, none, that this is who we will be. And that we'll come together as a nation that will secure our democracy. That for the next 200 years, we'll have what we had the past 200 years, the greatest nation on the face of the earth. We just need to remember who we are. We are the United States of America, the United States of America. And may God protect our nation, and may God protect all those who stand watch over our democracy. God bless you all. Democracy. Thank you.
Oh, he kept it short. Thank you very much. Oh, child. He kept it. Oh, you kept it short. Thank you. Oh, goodness. I thought that was going to teeter on his State of the Union address. I'm like, he can go.
It ain't gonna go but so far now.
Boy, they ain't gonna wear no mask. They gonna just walk out there with no mask on their face. Oh, okay. I see what we doing now.
That's what you concerned about, a mask after all of
President
this.
Joe Biden saying Donald Trump and his followers represent an extremism that threatens the very foundation of our republic.
Now they're gonna just sit there and talk about that. We could talk about that.
Independence Hall in Philadelphia.
Okay.
The president went directly at his predecessor and his supporters. He mixed a call for.
All right, so, oops, sorry. Nah, I'll leave it at that. Okay, so there is nothing that he said in his speech that I can say that's just like, ooh, gotcha. Ooh, that was a burn. Ooh, that will be remembered by this weekend. Ooh, 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 ooh. There's nothing in his speech. And on top of that, I could easily say that it was at the very core of it. And I hate to say this, but it is what it is. It was another kumbaya speech. It was another, let's come together as a country. We have one enemy now, and we need to defeat them so we can be this kumbaya nation that we've never been, ever. But somehow, some way, you keep thinking that we have been, that we've always been together, that we've always been one big happy country, and it was just pretty much just come off as a, a hip, hip, hoorah type of speech.
He would have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tracy.
He would have been better with mess around and find out. He would have just been better off just saying that. All of that. what was I don't know what the purpose of the speech was.
It's
Those platitudes, I'm like, no. I mean, there were some good points to it. I'm not going to be like told because people are going, you always criticize the Democrats. This is why. I'm like, there were so many platitudes. America's the greatest country in the world. No, we're not. America's always came together. No, we haven't. America can do anything. Oh, except for $15 minimum wage, complete student loan debt relief, child care, tax care being permanent. I don't know what the point of this speech was.
Yeah,
I wish there had been a point. Like, if you're going to sit here and say Trump and his followers, okay, you name Trump, that's good. But name some of them other ones. Like, hey, you had Lindsey Graham, da-da-da-da-da. But again, he started it. It was like he had the key, he got in the car, he started it, and he just didn't turn the ignition over. It's like, I need you to turn the ignition over. Kind of like what he did when he was defending the $10,000 student loan debt forgiveness. Tweet at them and say, hey, this person, PPP or PPL loan or whatever it's called, was forgiven. Do more of that, but put it in speech form. I don't know how you do that. I'm not a speech writer, but I'm confused as to what he was trying to say. Well, no, I know what he was trying to say. I just don't know why he was trying to say it. Maybe that's what I'm losing.
I think what it is we are, and I said this before on this show, you're now going to see a lot of political grandstanding because we're getting close to the election.
Yep.
And why a lot of these politicians haven't said anything since January, haven't said anything so far this summer, this spring, and everything else is, like I said, because we live in a country that is a TikTok memory type of society where if it's not 10 seconds or less, we're not going to remember anything. So even if we was to come out right now and call out all these people, and I'm agreeing with you, Tracy, at a certain point, you need to call out these people because they have gotten away with saying way too much and no consequences other than us, the media, the damage report, the Young Turks, the Ben Ditson, the people that normally is going to call them out anyway. But they're used to that though, because we're not their audience.
No,
they're going after their core audience, and their core audience want them to say the same rhetoric over and over and over and over and over and over and over again till they come up with something brand new. Then they'll change that for a few seconds, and then they'll go right back to the same rhetoric. And on top of that, why do they do that? Because they get paid to do that. So if they're going to get paid for it, they're going to get paid to say this silly crap over and over again. Y'all they went after months and months and months talking about the gas prices are so high and why Biden ain't addressing the gas prices and Biden should do something about the gas prices and why Biden ain't doing nothing about the gas prices. And we have been telling people for decades, the president has nothing to do with the price of gas.
Okay,
so many times over and over and over again.
But here,
wait a minute, but the gas prices are falling.
And what's the first thing Biden did?
What the first thing he did?
Took credit for the gas prices fall. I'm like, dude, you can't take credit for this.
If he gonna take slack.
No, that's a bad strategy. That's a bad strategy because what if the gas prices spike again? Then he's going to be trying to tell people, I don't have nothing to do with gas prices. And the common person is going to be like, well, you took credit for it when it was lower because they still aren't as low as they could be. So
man,
why now? No, you don't do that. You just say, hey, things are headed in the right direction.
nah.
Although he could stop giving subsidies to oil companies. That's something he could definitely do without Congress. He doesn't need them. So there are things he could do, but I'm like, don't take credit because you're setting yourself up for failure. But maybe that's his intention.
But my point is, it's gonna happen anyway. That's my deal. This is no different than that whole turn the other cheek, play the good, have the good fight, do the right thing, no matter what and everything. You know, certain circumstances, I see that. I like how he addressed whoever them little trolls were at the speech that were blowing
that was good
and everything. I like how not only did he address them, but put them in. This is America, and just like America, you have the right to do what you want to do as long as you don't cause harm and everything, because their side don't do that. If they don't like something, they have a little hissy fit. They cry about it, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we do the exact same thing. And now you taking away my First Amendment rights and my Second Amendment rights.
No, we don't do quite the same thing. We didn't go to the Capitol and just tear the place down.
No, but remember your little favorite thing that you like to, your little favorite video that you like to see, I Will Not Back Down, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was running away. The first thing that guy said when the guy was blowing the blowhorn and everything, by the way, y'all need to really do something better with your money than buying blowhorns and stuff. But I digress. That's your money. But when they started running off because nobody was listening to them, what's the one thing that guy said? See, this is what I'm talking about. The Democrats don't want us to talk. They try to take our First Amendment rights away and won't let us talk and everything. And we're like, we'll let you talk.
But we don't have to listen.
We just not have to be happy about it and be silent and all this other stuff while y'all running around trying to shoot up anybody you can get your freaking hands on and threatening civil people and threatening teachers and threatening postal workers and all this other stuff. But y'all have no issue with that, right?
Yeah, the kumbaya-ness of this speech just wanted to make me throw up. Because he didn't even call Republicans to the table on how they voted. That's what I'm like, okay, call them out. Call them out. Okay, here it comes. It never came. I'm like, okay, you talked about Trump. Good. But talk about how the Republican Party has opposed not just some things you wanted. Every single last senator voted against insulin being $35. Not any of them said, you know, that insulin's too expensive. They didn't vote for the child tax. They voted against the child tax credit being permanent. He couldn't have said that. I'm like, come on, stop with this. I want to be bipartisan. No, I don't want to be bipartisan. If you act like you don't have sense, I don't have to work with you.
I agree. I'm sorry. Every time people come with this, anybody, I mean, we're talking about Biden now, but anybody that's one of my pet peeves is when you do that, come together as a country, go forward and not backwards, and this kumbaya, we gonna come together. And I'm like,
filler statements that say nothing, and you're creating a word salad. That's what this speech was. It was just word salad. Say a bunch of phrases that sound good, but they don't have any backing. Like how? Okay, he said many times, Americans need to come together. How are we going to come together? What? Form a committee? Get working groups across the nation? What is like? Don't say those pie in the sky. They don't have any meaning. They're just fillers. They're just here. I'm just saying it so I can sound like I personally don't like that, but unfortunately, that's what people respond to.
is one of those speeches. One, I know the speech is basically to bring the country together type speeches. Like I said, we was never together to begin with, so whatever. For
Yeah,
everybody else, it was a bring the country together type speech. It was, the pie in the sky. Let's pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and let's
hold hands across America and work together.
This evil group of individuals and try and don't get it twisted. The MAGA people who are the extreme of the extreme, y'all are pretty evil. Y'all are. Y'all some sadistic individuals where people don't agree with you and you will fundamentally like to F their whole life up. That's an evil play.
They voted for a man that literally told them that he was going to give them tax cuts, didn't give it to them, and they still supported him. What?
It don't matter. At this point in time, this is what I done figured. Either this is my opinion about MAGA people. At this here and now. You're either in the group that we've joked about it, but it's absolutely true at this point. It don't matter what Trump do. He's in the right. It doesn't matter. Absolutely, unequivocally, it really don't matter what this guy does. He's not wrong. He's your savior. He's the second coming and everything else. Period. You have those people. You also have those people, and these are the ones that's a tad bit worse, but not really. You have the people who know they've been duped, they've been swindled, hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok. They know this now. But you are so deep in the Kool-Aid now that there is no
you can't come out. It's like, well, I'm not
gonna pull yourself out and go, "Ooh, I was wrong."
Yep, I can't tell people I was wrong, not me. No.
Especially if that's how you're making your money. If you're making your money off this by doing your podcast and doing YouTube videos and your website,
you know me, Bishop Peter, who talks like this all the time, and he does it.
Yeah. If this is how you making your money. Yeah, you know not to give Trump any more of your money. That don't mean that you are not going to be taking money from his supporters.
And they never ask themselves this question that I keep asking, and I still get the same answer. Trump says he's a billionaire, but for some reason he needs you to contribute to his campaign. Shouldn't he ideally have money to run? Oh, no. The answer to the question was nobody smart uses their own money. I'm like, okay, I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all. That's it. I'm done. That's it. No more conversation.
Those are the people who it doesn't matter. They fall into the two categories. Either it doesn't matter what Trump does. It just doesn't.
No, they just have an excuse.
Yeah, they're not going to change their mind about Trump.
It was, The feds planted the documents. Oh no! Then the Secret Service. Then it was declassified. Well, no, they put the documents on the floor to make them look messy. But I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I can't. I won't. I can't. I'm just like, you know what? If you support this guy, just unfriend me. My feelings will not be hurt. My life's gonna go on just the way it is. I can't. No more.
You got to unfriend me. You just have the understanding that I'm not gonna put up with crap that just does not make sense. I'm not gonna try to make the sense for you. Well, they planted all those documents in his office. You have videotape of all the FBI agents walking into that Mar-a-Lago. I don't remember seeing none of them carrying boxes into there. Yeah,
They carried
somehow,
them out.
but they carried them out.
Yeah, what they did though, they hid the documents underneath their clothing, and then when they got in, that's when they planted them. Somehow they assembled the boxes that were there for some reason, don't know how they got there, and they took the documents out of their shirts. And remember, those documents were already declassified. So that, like, y'all just admit you got suckered. It's okay. It's okay to admit, hey, I was wrong about such and such and such person. It's okay.
And that's the deal that I want to tell them so much is
they know it. I'm
not gonna pick on you.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're wrong. I'm not gonna be like, like,
I'm not gonna do that. For the simple fact is, I've said this about Trump. Trump is the greatest con artist that ever been in office,
and that
was his job, was to fool you.
But you know how some of my so-called Facebook friends,
there's no coming together with.
Thank you. If you never gonna reach across the aisle, why you gonna come together with them? No, I'm not gonna come together. I'm not gonna reach across the aisle.
I'm not gonna do it.
You don't have any sense. You aren't logical. You vote against things. No. Here's the one I heard that was the most outrageous thing. How did they say it? Oh, you never saw a picture of Michelle Obama pregnant. I said, yeah, that may be true, but did you ever see a picture of Melania pregnant? Oh, I got unfriended by that person real quick. You just not gonna do me, because I'm just like, if I see it.
You never saw a picture of Michelle Obama
pregnant, suggesting that she's not female. That's really what they were suggesting. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because we've never seen a picture of Melania pregnant. We've never seen a picture of Hillary Clinton pregnant. We've never seen, the last pregnant first lady we saw was Jackie O. And she wasn't even first lady at the time. What are you talking about? See, those, you got to know people who to leave alone. Because that to me, I was like, okay.
So now my question to that is, so we still doing that?
Oh yeah, they'll bring us stuff.
We still on the who's a man and who's a woman?
But Marlon, they will bring up pictures with Trump with like Snoop and 50 Cent, and see, he's not racist. He took a picture with these black. I can't no more. That's why I said I can't anymore. I just scroll past. I'm done. I'm finished.
Wow.
I got enough gray hair in my head. No more. I'm sick and tired of hearing reach across the aisle. I would have came out if I was giving Biden speech. I'd be like, I ain't working with none of y'all crazy people. Y'all crazy. Y'all voted against this, and this. Why am I working with you? That's what I would have did. But that's why I don't hold elected office, because people don't want to hear that. That's what needs to be done. But this whole, I'm going to work across out. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Trump nearly destroyed this country. You ain't got to believe it. I don't even care no more that you believe it or not.
They were just vacationing. They were taking pictures. That man just broke into Nancy Pelosi's office. He was just taking a picture and then stole her mail.
I think and funny thing you should say that, Tracy. I think that's when I stopped caring. I think after the insurrection,
the terrorist attack.
The terrorist attack, whatever you want to call it, I think that's when I stopped caring. I think if you could look at that after all the crap, and trust me, it was a bunch of crap during the Black Lives Matter marching, from from cops killing innocent people and everything, and you can show that same burning building, that one burning Target that's probably been rebuilt by now, over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and talk about how much of a thug these people are, how much of a terrorist group these people are, how much of radical these people are, how much they're destroying America, and yet you could turn around and come up with 50 million reasons how these individuals can storm a Capitol.
We know what the difference is.
In the middle of it, beat the crap out of the cops right before you sit there and call the Blue Lives Matter because, Black lives, blue lives, get it? All this stuff, you took down, you so much love the United States of America that you took down the American flag and raised a Trump flag, sit there and hung a noose in the garden, and sat there and told everybody that you're there to kill the Vice President of the United States of America, Nancy Pelosi, and practically anybody else that gets in your way.
But you forgot the
you
worst.
have a reason why all this happened.
And Marlon, you forgot the worst part. Trump said when it was good, got back to him that they were trying to kill the vice president, and that should be enough.
That's what I'm saying.
That right there should be enough for Trump people to say, you know what, he done went too far, but they'll never say it.
Oh no, that's exactly who I'm talking about. But I'm saying it doesn't matter because they're gonna show.
Yeah, and then
my point was that they went all that summer talking yada 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 about Black Lives Matter and thugs and they need to be arrested and we're gonna bomb you so the president can go out and take a picture in front of a church that he wasn't invited for while holding the Bible upside down. And the first thing out of people's mouth when I say hold the Bible upside down, no, he didn't hold the Bible upside down. Really, that's your take from everything I just said. Okay, so and all this other rhetoric that you want to do to the point that these people can systematically go in and their sole purpose was to kill and destroy everybody in that Capitol because their Lord and Savior didn't win. And you want me to sit here and take you seriously from this point on?
Oh, yes,
like
I ain't got too much to say to you, bro. That's it.
I don't have anything to say to you anymore.
You literally worship a man that said, yeah, he had it coming. What? Like
y'all had a gold statue of the man.
This
I remember one of my shows, Tracy, when I showed a picture of the golden statue.
Oh my
y'all
gosh.
made a golden statue. Y'all the most Bible thumping individuals in the world. And
I'm like, did you read that thing about y'all didn't read what happened when they was making goats? Y'all missed that whole part. Just missed it. Missed it.
Buddy.
What happened to the golden statue? Because apparently y'all didn't read it. Y'all just was like, okay.
But y'all.
This is what happens when people don't vote. Trump and his cronies, and I'll tell you why I say that.
Yeah, you of all people need to tell me why you said that.
Because our vote for president doesn't matter because the Electoral College. It doesn't. The Electoral College elects the president.
I wanted to make sure you was back.
But once you start talking about local races, where you got Republicans just taking away voting rights, because I hardly didn't want to vote for president. I just wanted to vote for the governor and down. But that was like the first choice, so I had to just write in whatever. Your vote for president essentially doesn't matter because the Electoral College, like Biden could win 365 million votes, and then the Electoral College will be like, well, let's see this, and then vote for whoever they want. But at the local level, that's where you better be careful at. Because these Republicans are not sane. But nationally, no.
Oh, and some of y'all Republicans, let me get on y'all real quick. Because some of y'all Republicans are now coming back now with tears in your eyes, talking about some doggone you feel sorry for how you voted for abortion because you done heard all the atrocities that we told you was going to happen, that we told you was going to happen because That's what happens when you don't allow people to abort. You have more deaths. You systematically destroy a woman's body because you decided to take their choice away. And now you coming back with these tears in your eyes. I regret. Now, funny thing about it is you're not gonna vote against it.
Nope.
You're just not gonna vote. See, I see that little trick right there. You're not gonna
stay
vote at
home.
all.
Please stay home. Please. Don't show up to no election. Don't show up. It's rigged. Hey, Tias.
Hey, Tias.
No, stay home. Don't vote for nothing. Don't vote for city council. Don't vote for governor. Don't vote for state senator. Don't. Nope. Stay home. You right. That's right. You right. You got that right.
He just did that, and he did vote against it.
Who are y'all talking about, by the way? Because I don't know who.
You know what? I'm going to see if I can literally find it because I know who it was that showed it. Big, long, drawn out, sad, sorry.
Was it a male? Because I would say that guy's side piece got pregnant. And so, see, what he did was he voted against it because he thought, oh, I wanted the baby. Then when she said she was keeping it, oh, I regret my vote.
No, it was something to the effect of some girl who was, hold on one second.
I'll move to.
Go on ahead and pull it up right now, Tracy. Because it was just like, I don't care no more, dude. Whatever you say. Here it is.
My final comments then, Mr. Chairman. I voted for the Pain Capable bill, the fetal heartbeat bill, and fetal heartbeat has been for 6 weeks now. The second week that the fetal heartbeat bill became law, a doctor called me out of Anderson. I live in Easley. A 19-year-old girl appeared at the ER. She was 15 weeks pregnant. Her water broke. And the fetus was unviable. The standard of care was to advise her that they could extract or she could go home. The attorneys told the doctors that because of the fetal heartbeat bill, because that 15-week-old had a heartbeat, the doctors could not extract. So their only choices were to admit the 19-year-old until that fetal heartbeat stopped. I asked, how long does it take to stop? She said, seconds, minutes, hours, maybe days, or discharge. They discharged that 19-year-old. The doctor told me at that point, there's a 50% chance. Well, first, she's going to pass this fetus in the toilet. She's going to have to deal with that on her own. There's a 50% chance, greater than 50% chance that she's going to lose her uterus. There's a 10% chance that she will develop sepsis and herself die. That weighs on me. I voted for that bill. These are affecting people, and we're having a meeting about this.
Well, gee, you should have thought about that before you voted
That whole
against
week, I did not sleep.
Oh, look at me cry.
I followed up with the doctor a week later. She had heard nothing, did not know about the 19-year-old. Thank God I followed up. 2 weeks later, she did return to the ER. They did extract the now non-beating fetus. What we do matters.
No! I
Thank you,
don't.
Representative Collins. One second, Mr. Chairman. I'm almost finished. Out of respect for the process, I'm not voting today. But I want to be clear that myself and many others are not in a position to vote for this bill without significant changes to the bill.
Notice he didn't say
As
repeal.
Representative Newton said, if we pass this out as favorable, you'll have an opportunity on the House floor.
So there you have it.
You know what, man? He need to sit his little crocodile having tears self down somewhere and shut up. Oh, the consequence. You should have thought about that.
No, the funny thing about it is, and thank you,
Mickey, for telling me, because I was like, who?
Brian Taylor Cohen. Thank you for showing that video. Because I'm going to say what he said. We told you this was going to happen.
He knew it was going to happen. He didn't care.
You didn't care because you was playing politics. Because this is what you thought your constituents want. And for you, and I'm going to try not to go on a rant, but it just boils up in me to the point of being pissed off when you said these decisions have real consequences with real people. Sorry, Tracy, but I have to say it the way I want to say it. Who the fuck did you think this was going to affect? That was the stupidest statement you could have ever said. Who did you think this was affecting? Animals? That was a stupid, ignorant, selfish, misogynistic statement. That these have an effect on real humans. Who the hell did you think this was affecting? No, I get what you thought because you are so simple-minded that you thought it was just a piece of paper in law. Because that's how you look at your constituents. It's just a piece of paper in law. You make the law, you sign the law, and you look good in front of people. You don't think of your constituents as human beings because it would take somebody, it would take this story from a real human being for you to get this.
And wasn't it a violation of HIPAA? The doctor telling her, "Oh, we extracted it." I'm like, hey, violating HIPAA, HIPAA violation. But you know what? I'm looking at what time it is, and I'm on that. No, I want you to keep on going with the show, but I have to take my insulin. So
they regret that they're
playing. They are playing. Thank you, Sis.
They're playing the PR game.
So,
but Tracy, I will see you this Saturday.
Yep.
Well, I'll see you this Saturday. I'll be.
You sure will. You'll see me this Saturday, and remember, check your email because I sent you the link.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
So I'm not going to even stay on long. It was just I had to show that video of these people are the masters of hypocrisy. I mean, period, point blank, in a discussion. They are the pure masters of hypocrisy, especially when it comes to, and I'm sorry, it's just, I can't get that out of my head. It's such a rude statement that these have real consequences with real people involved. It's like, what did you think this was going to do? You are a state senator. You have information that the public, normal public people do not have information to. You're not going to tell me did not come across your table once. You're not going to even tell me that nobody, no group of doctors, nurses, mothers who've been through this, trauma victims, you could not tell me that none of this information came across to you until now. That it took a doctor calling you to tell you that this fundamentally, this is not hyperbole at all what I'm about to say. This could kill women. Period. Situations, these things like this kill women. Black women, white women, I will say rich women, but poor and middle class women, it can end their lives. And you thought this was a good idea because your 30-40% people thought it was a good idea. And I'm sickening, but I can hear things in the back of my head already sitting there going, but dude, why are you so sick about it? That's what they do. I'm sorry. I'm still dumbstruck on some of the stuff that these people really do. It's just totally amazing to me. But honestly, I'm going to get on out of here. If you can, please do not forget to hit that like button on the way out. I would truly appreciate it. We'll maybe talk about the Biden speech Sunday, although quite honestly, I said what I said, wasn't much from it. Another kumbaya section, and yeah, nothing much came of it. So until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.